Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in this crypto world. Thanks for tuning into the episode of NxtMoon Project. We're just waiting for a few of our panelists to come up on stage, and then we can get started here. If you haven't already done so, and you're supposed to be on the stage for speaking, go ahead and send in a request, and I will approve it, and we'll get started. All right, I've given out a couple of invites to the speakers. So while we're waiting for them to come up, thanks everybody. My name is Cody. I am the host for today of this episode. In this series, we're exploring all of Web3 and in the attempt to meet some pretty stellar individuals and projects. I'm sure we'll uncover some hidden gems along the way, as well as even being able to find a couple of moonshots as well. So uh, before we get going, um, I think it's important for us to kind of throw out there that we're not uh, we're not here to basically pitch or shill projects on this episode. We're here to kind of dive into a deeper discussion, which is on why or can projects cultivate loyalty in a bull market, which I think is something that's pretty interesting and something that we definitely need to kind of think about as from a project perspective, especially during the rush of the bull market. So just keep that in mind. Likewise, I would definitely, if you could, give us a share. Share this out. It helps us with the algorithms. Plus, it just helps get the message out that there's good, high quality content coming out your way. Plus, give each of our panelists a follow. I know that they will definitely and greatly appreciate it since they're taking time out of their busy schedule to come and participate in here. So, looks like we're still waiting for just one more person to come on board. Don't know if they're having problems connecting or what, but if you're having problems connecting and getting on stage, maybe drop out and come right back in. That usually helps. AMA, these spaces, Elon's really made it really hard with these spaces sometimes. So, yeah, with that being said, we've put together a great list of panelists for our conversation today. Let's give each of them 30 seconds to kind of introduce themselves, the project that they're working on, and yeah, let's start with Josh. Go for it, my friend.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can hear you clearly. Go for it.
Perfect. Okay, sorry, I was muted there for a sec. Yeah, thanks for having me. Wanted to jump on here and just kind of weigh in on some of the stuff. See some people that I know on here already, and I'm excited to get to chat about it a little bit. Yeah, so my name's Josh, or you'll see me as Jay on some other socials. I do live ops and creator stuff for Treasure. If you aren't familiar with Treasure or Treasure DAO, we are a decentralized game console. We are a game publisher for around 15 games, if most notably games like Wanderers, The Beacon, Bitmates, Synergyland, Seaverse, all those great games. We're building a lot of really cool tools, including Web3 development kits that they'll be able to connect, working with Third Web and other partners to just build some really cool integrations that we can offer to our games, helping them with marketing, helping them just find the best route forward to get some cool things pushed out, get a lot of updates out for the players, get attention around what they're building. And yeah, we're coming out with the desktop app very, very soon. Mainnet is going to our L2 mainnet going live on using the ZK Sync stack is going to be going out towards the end of the month, maybe a little bit likely early December. But yeah, that's very big things coming very soon. Thank you for having me. Definitely interested to talk a little bit more about what the topic is today.
way cool project, and congrats on the launch coming up for sure. So yeah, and thanks for being here. Uh, I, I'm going to probably slaughter this. My apologies in advance. Kassan? Sean?
Yo, yo, yo. It's action.
Action. Nice.
Action. Ready for action on a Friday. Yeah, thanks for having me, Cody. I'm Ben. I'm the CEO of Action. And yeah, we turn live sporting moments into playable, tradable NFTs. We bring together the two things that we really love most, crypto and live sports. And yeah, currently got our product on testnet, which is on Ethereum, looking to push it to Base, which we feel is a nice up and coming chain and quite good for gaming. And yeah, very happy to be here. Had some great news recently with the election. Is obviously great for the bull market and seeing some lovely pumps. So I'm glad everyone's feeling buoyant, and yeah, happy to be here and to be part of the X Space today.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you on board as well. It sounds like you've got an interesting concept going on there. I definitely want to learn more about it, and I'm pretty sure we will over the time. So yeah, we've got one more person. I don't know if they're having a problem. The invite's been sent to them, but Sirjan, if you can maybe drop out and come back in, we can get you back in. And then XP.NETWORK, if you want to join as well, more than welcome to join the conversation. Happy to have you. Just send in a request if you guys want to join. So with that being said, yeah, let's just kind of jump into today's conversation. Can projects cultivate a loyalty within a bull market? And oh, it looks like Surgeon. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself before we start?
So hello. I'm Srijan Koirala. You can call me Sri if it's hard for you to pronounce it. I'm a moderator at MeAI. Am I audible? Okay. I'm a moderator at MeAI, which is the first AI-powered Web3 lifestyle app blending gamify and sociify. I'm thrilled to be here as a guest speaker, and this is my first AMA, so I may stutter a bit. So uh, today's discussion is I'm looking forward to this topic today.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, congratulations on allowing us to be. Thank you, I should say, for allowing us to be your first AMA speaker event. So we're glad to have you, and definitely, definitely kind of an interesting take for sure on today's topic. Looks like we've got one more speaker requesting to come up. Let's bring him up really quick. All right, Remy, can you hear me? Are you there, Remy?
Hello, GM, everyone. My name is Rami. I'm the marketing lead of XP.NETWORK. XP.NETWORK is an NFT multi-chain bridge, and we currently support 35 blockchains. And we're also working on a new game. It's called XP Rush, which we will reveal later on. Thank you for having us.
Hey, thanks for joining. I know you sent a request for one of our previous shows. I'm glad you were able to make it on. So yeah, definitely welcome to all of our panelists. Should be a great discussion. Like I said, today's topic is on can projects cultivate a loyalty in a bull market? As we know, with the bull market comes a lot of influx of liquidity, capital, new users, and just a lot of chaos. And so during the bear market, it's easier to kind of manage expectations, manage community members, to kind of cultivate your communities. But the biggest question that we want to dive into is this, especially around the whole kind of buzz and chaos around the bull market. What kind of tactics, what kind of strategies? What kind of things can be done, or are you guys planning with your various projects that you're working on, or even communities that you're participating in, that you're seeing as kind of prep, as kind of what is your game time strategy for when the bull market occurs, to keep retention of your existing community base and keeping them involved? Because as a lot of us are, also aware, when it comes bull time, a lot of people are just there for grabbing the quick win, grabbing the quick profit off of a project launch. And so a lot of times we see them come in and very quickly, and we see them exit quite a bit. But with the new cycle coming, also brings a lot of great new projects that are well beyond just kind of pump and dump kind of mentalities. They're trying to make a long run at it as well. So those are kind of the questions that we're going to be putting out there. So that leads me to our first question for the panelists. So my structure is pretty simple. If you guys have a thought, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll come to you. And if not, we'll do the hot potato thing, where I'll just pick one of you guys to answer, and then you can throw it to somebody else. But if you have a follow-up comment, just feel free to just jump in and jump in the conversation. So so with that being said, let's jump off to the first question. So again, what are you currently doing, or what are you planning to do when the bull cycle comes, to keep more of your community members engaged with your project, rather than just being coming and going? Who wants to go first? All right, I think Action's hand was up first, and then we'll go with Josh.
Thanks, Cody. I think one of the things that's most important for us is reading the kind of vibe in the room, right? So we always promote like long-term value, and we want to be super having our kind of radars on for the kind of talk that doesn't drive like long-term value. So if we've got people in the Discord that are just like, when Moon, when Lambo, all this kind of talk, like we know that we know where the motivation is coming from, so we can kind of read that. And I think when we kind of read that kind of temperament, we want to just align people back to the project, align them back to the game, and why our game delivers sort of long-term value. And so we want to be kind of monitoring that and hearing people talking about football. We want to hear them talking about the goals that have been scored following their teams. And as long as we're sort of getting that kind of chat, we know that they're there for the right reasons. We know that they'll be there and they'll be loyal for everyone because they've got a team, they've got a tribe, and that they're kind of less concerned about, short-term gains, and really, engaging for the right reasons. So I think it's kind of just monitoring the kind of, the words and the verbatim that are being used, and trying to sort of realign that if it goes, skew, and it will, right? Because, as soon as the balls, kick in, everywhere's getting flooded, and trust goes out the window, really. And so, you get trust when in real life, when you're kind of, going through those experiences, when you're in the trenches, right? When you've been with people through the bear markets and survived, and you've gritted your teeth and got through it together. And that's what makes like really powerful bonds. And that's what loyalty is at the end of the day. So staying true to the OGs, and making sure that we align all the new guys that are coming in.
Yeah, those are some great takes. Definitely got some follow-up questions on that one, but let's go to Josh next to get his take before we do. Josh, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I do live ops for Treasure, and what that entails is working with the game teams. As we are a publisher, we just want to support the game teams that are building, and for what my position basically entails on the live ops side is helping them get awareness around events, making sure that there's constant activity, and constant growth and just momentum as always, right? And so I think it's super important to always have that activity. So even if you don't, in terms of content, like even if you don't have, let's say it's like a game project, right? Even if you don't have the content ready, even if you're not part of, you don't have an event going on, you need to have some kind of activity, even if it's just posting about upcoming, like what's going on in development, what you're working on, just talking with the community. There has to be that humanization of the team. I don't think there's not much in Web3 that's more important than humanizing the people on the team, giving them a face to recognize and having people to talk to. And I think that builds a lot of loyalty in there, just by itself. But then there's also, sticking true to your roadmap, not over. I think it's pretty natural in development to overextend what you're going to be, pushing out in a time frame. But sticking true to that roadmap, regardless of what time it's coming, is going to be super important. And just if there are any changes, communicating that pretty clearly, making sure that it's for the better of the community. And then just if there are potential for rewards, then rewards, obviously. But if there isn't, monetary rewards, there isn't NFTs, there isn't something like that, there can also be, arbitrary rewards. Getting them involved, just having something fun to do, and a place to be active, a community to talk to and be active in. And that's kind of like, what Treasure's doing too. We have quests within our games. So even if they don't have a major update, people can go in and they can complete a quest, whether it's like, defeat or get, to dungeon level 5, or advance another 5 dungeons in Zverse, or something like that on the Treasure app, so that people can go and see it. There's also a great thing with cross-pollination, keeping them aware of what's going on, giving them exclusive access to different things, and just trying to build a culture around it and finding your niche. And I feel like if you guys are ever in the Treasure Discord, or what smalls are, I think you can kind of see how these people are acting in the community, and they're a great community to be around.
Awesome. Yeah, you definitely hit it there. Community health has a lot to do with it, in ways to kind of keep the retention going. That's for sure. Suri, do you want to kind of jump in here since you're a mod? Who do you mod for again?
I'm more for VAI. Okay, so I guess not a lot of us have heard about it, but we are actually going to launch soon. We are okay. Actually, our main hub is Discord. So to retain our users, we actually do some quests and challenges and keep our community active. So making if our community is active, just as Josh and Option said, it will form a loyalty in our users. So we also have our TMA and Telegram. So okay, uh,
No, that's great. And what was that?
sorry. Okay. So we also have our TMA. So it is designed to keep users actively engaged through our simple and interactive rewarding activities. There are a lot of quests. We also do a partnership quest that keeps our users active, and it also helps us to increase our users. Uh, so okay, that's all. Sorry for the. I'm getting a little bit nervous.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. This is a safe place. All of us on this panel had to start somewhere, and definitely get their first AMA out. But I can tell you from experience, my friend, it does get a lot easier. And it as long as Elon doesn't rug our space, it's going to be a fun space, and we'll make it a fun space. So no worries there.
Thank you. understanding.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So, yeah, I like what you guys all brought up. Everything from engagement to activity based kind of things like that. Yes, those are all definitely important. I think one thing that the action said that was, or it was Josh actually that said, the humanization of its games, developers, founders. That is so important to do as a founder or a lead developer. One of the leads of the project is to jump in and get your hands dirty, get into the weeds. Um, Engage, answer some questions, and not cherry pick those questions, answer the hard questions, and that will definitely build and foster a good, healthy community where people feel safe to ask questions, feel safe to engage in things, as well as be able to, kind of cultivate into a great brand ambassador or spokesman for your project. My next question is kind of like geared towards, you guys have mentioned a few activities that you guys have been doing. What would you say is the number one thing that has helped you create loyalty that you feel will strengthen your bond with your community member as we head into this next bull market? What's one specific thing that you guys are doing or will do? Go for it, Josh.
Yeah, so I think you always have to have their best intentions in mind, and I think that's what cultivates that loyalty. And again, like just that activity, right? It's just having like the ability to connect with the community, and having the community connect with you is a big part of what I've seen in terms of loyalty. Just having that open communication, that direct communication, direct comms to the founders, the game team, or the project team, things like that, it's going to be super important. On the other hand, this is going to be a bull market where people who are from, let's say, like 2021, or even in the past few months, they've seen a bear, right? Things are going to blow up, maybe not blow up super fast, but it's going to gradually climb, and giving your community the opportunity to take advantage of that. I don't see, let's say a bull run comes around in the next year. They're not going to leave you during that bear, or I'm sorry, a bear run comes around in the next year. They're not going to leave you during that time because, you gave them the opportunity to grow during the bull. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people are within Web3. But then there's also just, getting them through this time. A lot of people, if it's in terms of gaming, they just want to play a really cool game. They want to play a fun game, and they want to be part of the community and have challenges and kind of showcase what they've been able to do. And so I think there's working with other platforms that do loyalty kind of programs where, you are a bigger part of the community as you interact more. I think that's gonna be pretty big as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, just to kind of recap, it's all about getting engaged. Um, and when you mean engagement, you're talking about like actually conversing with people within your community, or do you mean things outside of that?
Yeah, that, and if you are a product and you are doing stuff, and it's visible that you are doing things within the project or the product, then doing that as well. Having I don't think it's any better than I keep bringing it back, but the game founder, then people seeing the game founder actually playing the game, and interacting with people in the game too was great. But conversing, using the product, showing people, and just being active in general is, I think, pretty important.
Oh, agreed. Action, go for it.
Yeah, harking back to, I think, something Josh said about being honest, and when things, it's hard, right? Especially as a founder, development in Web2 is hard, but doing it in Web3 is like super hard. And if you've got a really complex, mechanic and platform like we do, stuff can take much longer. Even having years and years of experience trying to predict software outcomes, it's super hard. And the community, they're keen, they want things out as much as we do. And we go into, several meetings a week discussing product, when's it going to be ready? What's the next play here? And it's kind of easy to share the wins, right? It's easy to kind of talk about the good things, but to be honest and transparent is super hard, right? Because you have to go back to your community and go, do you know what, guys? Like, it's not ready. I know we said like 2 weeks. We're really sorry. We're trying really hard. And for the community to kind of like engage with that and understand, do you know what? There are real people behind this platform. It's not just tokens, exchanging, wallets on a blockchain. There are real people that are working on this stuff. And, when we don't get stuff out on time, it hurts us, it cuts us deep. And we want the community to feel that pain with us, they want to join in that journey with us. And you hear a lot of people saying, you've got to like build in public. That's easier said than done, especially if you're kind of like, 3 months down, you can't hit these deadlines. You might be on like, our CTO, like absolute kind of legend unicorn, might hit a blocker that might set us back for 3 weeks on something that isn't even really that valuable, just a silly little like development blocker that can take weeks and weeks to untie. And you do it like, God damn, like so glad that one's done. And I think people just don't understand how hard it can be. And instead of kind of like squirreling away those emotions, like you've got to kind of step up and be brave and kind of share it back to the community and just go, man, we've had a hard week, but we're so glad you're kind of here with us. Like we've got a few original NFT holders that bought our season passes last year, and they're still waiting for the game to come out, and they're still there. They're so freaking loyal, and that just means the world to us, and that drives us to keep going. And if you don't have that dialogue with them, you don't get that camaraderie, and that's surely that's what loyalty is all about. It's kind of having empathy for each other.
Now you bring up some really good points there, and I'm of the belief that because I'm a UI UX designer by trade, and I mean I've done the marketing angle of it, of marketing, product management, all across the board. And one thing that I've found is, with crypto is exactly like what you're talking about. It seems like when you do public development, that it seems like it's almost like somebody's staring over your shoulder as you're sitting there coding, and it's awkward. It feels weird sometimes, but in the same sense too, is it's like these are just very eager people. If it's just that they're looking for your project to get launched so that they can profit off of your launch, that's one thing. But majority, you'd like to assume as a project owner that a majority of the people that are quote unquote staring over your shoulder are the ones that are really eager to play with it and to actually utilize the project or the service that you're bringing to them. And so, yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. And so for me, I've learned that, and I'm of the faith as well, is that you develop and you get the product done 100%, maybe 98%. Then you stick a launch date out there that you can. All you have to do is just kind of you're finalizing your beta test. You've done your test net. You've done all these different things. You're just kind of dotting the last remaining I's, crossing the final T's. That way, you set that expectation. You hit that deadline. You look like the hero. But a lot of it has to do with with what both of you guys have said before, is that it's hard because you've got this eager, hungry community wanting more. And oftentimes we do overextend ourselves, which can cause some decrease in that loyalty. But definitely, it's an incentive to be able to definitely gain more loyal users. So that kind of leads me on to the next question. Siri, did you have something you wanted to add real quick before we move on to the next question? Or Nope. Okay. Oh, go for it.
So at NEAI, our main focus to keep our users loyal is TMA, as it encourages consistent participation uh, and through a dynamic reward structure. You see that it aligns with users' goals and habits, and it uh, it it uh, it builds a sense of routine and attachment to the project. And the challenges and rewards are also our thing that we ask in our community in Discord, where our users can give us feedbacks and their uh, thoughts, which can be seen on our TMA as well. So they kind of feel like they have they are recognized, and that also makes them more loyal to us. Hmm. Okay, that's all.
No, that's a good point as well. So, and that actually kind of leads me into the next question that I want to do. But before we get into that, we're at the halfway mark. So, if you're just tuning in, my name is Cody. I am the host of the Next Moon Project. Today, we're talking about the CAM projects cultivate loyalty in a bull market, and we've had some great feedback by Josh, Action, and Suri on these different on this different topic. Provided some great insight. If you haven't done so already, please go in and like these, or excuse me, follow these guys. They've got some great insight. They've got some great projects. I know that they would definitely love your follow, and I'm pretty sure that they would be very eager to tell you more about their project as well. And if you haven't, please go ahead and share this episode out. It helps us with the algorithms. Plus, it helps us get the goal is to flood the crypto space with a lot, or excuse me, the Twitter space or X space, I guess you can say, with a lot of great crypto content that talks about some of the trending topics, issues facing crypto, things like that. So we would appreciate it, and I know our panelists would as well. So thanks for tuning in. Again, let's kind of move on to the next section. Siri kind of planted the foundation for us to springboard into this next one. Is the concept around loyalty itself, right? There's a lot of different kind of psychology models. There's a lot of different strategies, beliefs, myths, whatever you want to call it, of how to basically help people build loyalty as a consumer, as a community member, or as an investor. What Just out of curiosity, what are your guys' individual take on what loyalty means to you and to your project, and how is there a formula? Do you believe that there is a formula? Do you believe that there is like a check to the box that you can do that will garner or plant a seed for future loyalty on there? I'm kind of curious to see what you guys have to say around that. Action, go for it.
I think there's absolutely a formula, and Cody, UX guy myself as well, and have been doing that for a long time. And so, I always look past the app and the platform that I'm working on, and I'm always thinking about the users of the platform and how they feel. And that is absolutely the same. With Action and Web3 projects. It's all about, well, let me flip it the other way. What's the most valuable thing that you can think of? What's the most loyal you've been to anything or anyone? Is it a dog that's shown up every day with a wagging tail? Is it being a lifelong Liverpool fan and sharing those moments? It's the most valuable things in life are meaningful connections with like-minded human beings. Okay, And if you think of it in that terms, you just need to, the more you invest into those relationships, the more valuable they are to you. So the more time you spend, and customers have to choose, right? They've got, all these different Web3 projects they can be involved with. And when they're sort of dropping in and out of different Telegrams and Discords, if they're not kind of leaving their mark there and engaging with other users who are people, that's not going to sort of, symbolize or reflect value back. So to have those conversations, and even if it's sharing memes, is sort of one way to do it. But the other thing is kind of like tapping into the human instinct that wants to climb a social ladder. Okay, and that's when you get into kind of like, Zeely questing or Galaxy and stuff like that, and simply finding a way at its crudest level, even if the sort of product isn't ready to do that. I mean, Action, we have a leaderboard. It's a crude version of it. It's in the backlog, but it's far less important for us than getting the actual MVP game out. Speaking to a friend of mine the other day and kind of like, discussing, loyalty programs and saying, look, you can take all the wallets that are engaged with your contract and simply put them in a list and order them by most amount of transactions. That immediately gives you, something that, potentially the competition don't have. And you want to see your name on a list. I'm part of a crew. I'm part of a tribe. This is where I sit in that tribe. And guess what? Now I want to get above that guy. He's an Arsenal fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'd love to get above him. And so you use these, real kind of like basic human traits and instincts to drive competition and to drive engagement. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the Action Arena leaderboard, which is a bit further down the line in terms of your product leads, and we want to bring it forward and have it run independently of the actual game stages in development, so that we're already growing the community and giving them quests and asking them for feedback and asking them to do surveys, because every time they step forwards and every time they give their voice, give their opinion, give, that there's value accruing there, because it becomes a home, it becomes a destination. So yeah, I hope that helps, but that's the way that we kind of try to think about it anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And yeah, I think that you and I could definitely nerd out on some deep rabbit hole discussions around, cognitive behaviors and things like that in how design is. I don't know about you, but I use a lot of cognitive behavior modeling, things around developing kind of autonomy and things like that. So yeah, we could definitely go down some deep rabbit holes for sure. But I digress on that, and that's another discussion, another topic for another time. But be on the lookout for that, because I would love to have you back on. Josh or Siri, do you guys have anything you want to add to that? Hello, can you guys hear me okay? Siri, go for
it. So during a bull market, we see it's easier for project to attract attentions. And in this time, maintaining a community's loyalty means it it have it must go beyond just what they have, uh, what there's existing features to maintain a in this time of in this current market. Prices soars, number of active participants are also increases. Uh, user might be drawn to that quick gains and just look for other projects for gains. So, but what I feel a loyalty is that it's a repeated behavior, a trust, and willingness to stick to us even through all these. So, just like you said, loyalty can be driven by uh, many factors, human intricates and personal benefits, many things. So for keeping loyal. Okay, okay. To plant loyalty, what we are doing in our project is what we are. Okay, yes. What we are doing in our project is uh, delivering continuous value to our users. That they need to feel that the project is uh, benefiting them in meaningful ways. Uh, we have to have a transparency so they can trust us. And we, as a me AI, just as I said about TMA, we are focusing on TMA our for keeping our users loyal. So it creates challenges and quests that keep them involved and make them this regular habit of them on engaging in this platform. Mm. Users also have their feel a kinds of recognition that we are heard by us, that just like we asked feedback by them, and these are all the things that gives our members loyal to our project. Did I go off topic here?
No, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you definitely brought up some good points there. Um, one of the things that I will definitely talk about here in just a second is going beyond features. But before I do, Josh, do you have anything you want to add?
Can you remind me of the topic that, or the question that you had just asked?
Yeah, like what does the word loyalty mean to you personally, or to your project? And what are some things what is one specific thing that you are planning on doing during the bull market to keep that loyalty alive?
Yeah, that's a good question. Loyalty is a tough one because you can't expect someone to spend all day within your project or within your product or app, and you can't really expect them not to go elsewhere if there are other, maybe not same options, but other possibilities too. In terms of gaming, like there's a lot of different things that you can do. And if you were to go from Treasure to Ronin, I'm not going to be upset about it because they have different games, right? But I think maybe it's just sticking in the community, just staying active, just being a part of it. Holding the NFTs is always good too, like making sure that people are just like bullish on the project, on where it's going and how it's going to work. So yeah, so I think just like believing in what the project is, and that I think that's the loyalty that we're looking for. Is just like the belief in the team, the belief in the community and the project and where we're heading. And I think we're getting that, and I want to increase that. And I just want to see more passionate people join the community. And it's great that there are so many. I just want to keep building on that and get people, if you are bullish on what we're building, and you want to be part of the community, you want to be one of the holders. There's you might not just oh can you hear me okay? Sorry, my computer's you can still hear me? Okay, cool. um where I was going with that was um I guess you just want them. Maybe it's not a monetary reward that they're going to get from being loyal. Maybe it's just like being part of that community, being a bigger part of that community, getting early access to kinds of things, and just like being part of making them feel like more part of the team too, versus like just the community, making them feel like they're valued from the team standpoint, and from what we're building. I think that's it. Like if they believe in us, they're holding their bags, and then we would love to reciprocate that support in any way that we can, even if it's not monetary.
No, I love it. I love it. We're going to talk about what you just said there. For me, loyalty has a lot to do with autonomy, right? The autonomy of a person in relation to a brand, a project, a service, that kind of thing. You look at the lifestyle kind of brands that we kind of associate ourselves with, right? The heated topic: iPhone versus Android. Which one's the best, right? You'll have you'll have the quote unquote cult members of followers come out of the woodwork and give their 2 cents on why either one's the best. For me, I'll divulge. I'm a huge Apple fan. I don't even think I have an Android device in my house. Um, but that's just because of my personal choice that I align with, right? And same thing with with action. Sports is a great one. You've got all these sports teams that can be top of the league and have all the best players and be winning, and then with a change of a season, one player leaves or something changes in the dynamics, which makes them absolutely wrecked. They're losing, and for us, if you're a football fan in the U.S., for us, those are the Dallas Cowboys for a lot of people, or the the Browns, excuse me, the Bears. I still don't understand why people would root for a team that has a logo that looks like a toilet lid seat cover as their logo. But hey, to each their own. But they keep coming back after losing, after losing, after losing seasons, right? And so those are the kind of things that raise the question of like, what is loyalty and what drives that? And for me, I like I mentioned earlier, I use a lot of psychology models when I design, and one of them is called the self-determination theory, and that's a great one because it really kind of puts it into perspective, a step-by-step process for users to obtain autonomy with your project or with your brand. And what it basically does is it talks about mastering your environment, right? So the environment can be your game, it can be your project, it can be pretty much your kind of like little ecosystem. If they feel like they can get in there, and action would probably back me on this one, is this like, if it feels intuitive enough to them, if they feel like they can maneuver and it flows to them and it just makes sense, they feel like they can master it, right? And especially when you start layering in layers of customization, they have an even greater feeling of being able to master that environment. But the second thing that needs to be done is support. And well, going back to the master environment, I mean, Siri was the one that brought it up, like going beyond the features, right? That's what I mean by that is exactly what he said, going beyond the features. The second thing is the support, and Josh, you just mentioned that too, is the voice, right? Making sure that they feel like they can be heard, but also feel like they can get support if they need to in the long run. And those are the things for me that drive autonomy and will ultimately lead to absolute loyalty, right? Because they identify, they kind of resonate with your mission, with your values, that kind of stuff. And so, Action hit it on the head that, it's all about human connection. It's all about being able to interact with something in terms of relationship. And so, with us coming up on the hour, I have one last question for you guys. And that is basically around the future of crypto, the future of your projects, and moving forward. As you start growing and trying to attract new loyal community members, it raises the question of reward or not to reward. And I feel like a lot of times, the law of reciprocity is only as good as long as the person receiving the reward or receiving the benefit feels that it is of value, and when they don't, they lose that kind of loyalty, or even just even the engagement, that connection. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you feel like you need to reward tons of people? You need to reward everybody, or should the project be good enough that is the reward in itself to keep them engaged? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I think rewarding is great. Like and it doesn't have to be monetary. Maybe it is just a status symbol. A lot of times, what we do with the games in the app, when, let's just say, I'll take you through the process. When a user completes a game action, a player gets a kill and they complete a quest. Let's say for that quest it was get a kill or whatever. Then that quest is automatically completed within the app, as long as like your accounts are connected. And so when they do complete that quest, you can get up to two things. You can get one, which is gems. It's our soft currency part of treasure, and those, I'll tell you what those gems are for in a second. And then you can get badges. Those badges are basically just like signifying that you did complete it. They could be used for a bunch of different use cases, like leaderboard standings. If you are like number one, number two, number three, that kind of stuff in tournaments. They can be used for like tiered badges. So as you like level up, then in the game or whatever in the event, then your badge will update, and then you can add that to your profile. I think that's a pretty cool signifying thing that you can use as like a status symbol. And I think NFTs are notably status symbols in and of itself too. Obviously, there's a value behind it, but not everything has it. It's a more like a status symbol. Most people wouldn't have punks if it didn't give them a certain status. And so reward them with that, of course. And then you want to, for the gems, if they have those gems, what we do at Treasure is we have seasons, usually around like 6 months ish. Kind of changes here and there, but around 6 months we have the end of the season. The end of the season rolls around and there are rewards. These aren't, some of the times it's monetary rewards, like Treasure has our token Magic. Magic can be used for anything, basically. Can be sold, can be used to buy all of the items within our ecosystem, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely, you can reward them through that. It's not necessarily a huge reward that we usually put in the chest, up to like 690, which is around $300, 300 some dollars right now. So it's not like a massive reward, but there's still some monetary rewards. And then what the majority of the chests make up, there's about 2,000 each season, is the banners, again, for your profile customization. It's the only way you can get that art, is through pulling an NFT from one of the chests. And then there's also in-game items. So items that you can use within the project, product, or game that either gives them a boost, gives them another status symbol within the game, or just kind of like it's a signification that you are part of the community. And I think you're like, or a holder, right? So I think there's a ton of different ways that you can reward people that are active within the ecosystem. And we do that through completing quests, showing that you have activity in the games, getting those gems, spending those gems on the chests, and getting some rewards. So I think that's just one of many ways that you can do it.
Love it. So you're definitely going the gamification type of route, which is definitely always a good thing to try to drive loyalty. So yeah, thanks for sharing. Action, go for it. You had your hand up.
Yeah, so the way that we've sort of like designed a lot of the rewarding is like twofold, really. Like, firstly, yeah, it's to do with like the football seasons and the leaderboard being based off that. So a winner for that, and then the winner for the year, but the overall action scoreboard as well. That is, you can airdrop individual NFTs for different things. And I think it's quite important to be ad hoc as well and not so sort of mechanical about things. So, you know, users are getting, you know, points for, you know, goals, assists, shots on targets, you know, fouls, and everything that we can think of to make it more fun, but also rewarding for engagement. So also rewarding for helping people out in the Discord, or, you know, doing a bit of moderation. And then the other thing that I kind of wanted to sort of touch on is that keeping it like real, right? Because NFTs and tokens, you know, are awesome. That's why we're here, right? But shout out to my friend Tara, who you know, brings crypto into the real world. She makes really awesome games. So she did Cards Against Cryptocurrency. She does like an annual advent calendar, which is crypto based. And to support those projects and get those actual physical products just makes it so real. And because like when somebody wins it, like you actually send it to them, like, this is a real person in the real world and I've got a real product, and, you know, get them to take a picture of it and, you know, tweet about it. So, you know, don't forget about the real world, guys. You know, crypto is fun. Crypto is, you know, it's completely sort of chaotic and full of lunacy, especially in a bull run. But think about the real world, real people with real products, and it's nice to like touch and feel stuff as well. So yeah, hope that helps.
Definitely love it. Suri, do you have anything you want to add? Okay, we're coming up on the hour, so I want to leave a little bit of time for you guys. Thank you so much for participating in today's AMA and taking time out of your busy schedule. Again, for our listeners that are tuning in now versus later through the recording, definitely give these guys a follow. Their projects sound really interesting. I encourage you guys to check it out. And as always, before you invest in any crypto project, make sure to do your own research on the project, and because ultimately it is your financial responsibility to do it. So with that being said, I want to give you guys you know, maybe a minute each just to kind of talk about any alpha you want to drop, or how people can get in contact with you, or get engaged with your community or product that you've got, project that you've got going on there. So we'll start with Action if you want to go first, and then we'll go Josh, and we'll go Suri.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot, Cody. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate being on the space. And yeah, good to have a fellow UX guy. Yeah, I'd love to reach out. Actually, we can geek off for sure. So reach out. Let's connect. You can find more information on Action at action.xyz. We're encouraging users to come in and join the Discords. We've got a product on Ethereum testnet, and we're gamifying the testing around that as well. We just recently got onto an accelerator, project launcher. Some of the guys from Lazy Lions kind of moved on to incubation, so we're super amped. We've just got, a new developer from Uruguay, community manager. So, you know, we're totally amped, and, you know, love these opportunities to sort of come on and talk about Action and hopefully give a bit back, and yeah, drop a bit of alpha as well. What alpha is good? I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on base chain. We were trying to figure out what L2 to go on, and we looked at Arbitrum, we looked at Immutable, and a load of others. And at the moment, like, we're thinking like base is a really good shout. So I'm interested to know what everyone else thinks about that. But we feel like there's, you know, this could be one of the big like narratives of the bull run. So maybe that's alpha, maybe it's not, but definitely keeping a close eye on that. And one of the projects on there is called Toshi, which is after Brian Armstrong's cat. And that's one of the projects that I've been following for a bit. So yeah, I did drop a bit of a token on that not long ago, and that's my top tip.
Awesome. Josh, go for it.
Yeah, so sorry, I was muted there for a sec. Yeah, like I had said, we have some really great things coming up. I would just say, you know, look out for on Treasure. Look out for the upcoming L2. And also, a side note here, I appreciate you having us up on the stage here. It was great to chat and share some things on here, and excited for always down to support the page that you're trying to grow. And if you ever want to interact or need some engagement, always just shoot me a message or something, and I'm always down to support. But yeah, treasures building. We're building our community, trying to just make it a really great place to be. And yeah, I hope everyone just loves being here. I think that's the goal, is to make sure everyone's just having a really great time. Make sure this is the right place to be. And yeah, I hope that we continue to build, and this space continues to grow with the bull market. And it's all trial and error. So I think we're gonna be testing it out, and I hope you guys can follow us along the way.
Siri, go for it. Oh, did we lose him? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Cody.
Okay, cool. Looks like he might not be able to hear us, but anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. For those that are listening, thanks for tuning in as well. Our next episode will be on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about what makes a project moon. It should be another good AMA. We've got a few people lined up for it as well. Likewise, throwing out an invite to Josh in Action. Each week we do an exclusive kind of 10-minute pitch. Think of it as speed dating for listeners, to kind of get a lowdown, get some great insights on projects that are either upcoming projects, games recently launched, or existing in the Web3. Our whole ethos is that we want to discover and explore some pretty stellar people and projects in the space, and like I said, find the next moon project. So definitely invite you guys to participate in that if you want. We've got some. We just had a gaming edition yesterday that went really well. So I encourage you guys just to kind of keep a lookout for those, and shoot me a DM if you guys are interested in joining, and we'll get you guys up. So with that being said, thanks everybody for tuning in. It was a great episode. We will talk to you guys on the next one. Until then, keep you working to unite all of crypto. Have a great weekend, and good evening, good morning, or good night, wherever you're at.